He loves you, but he's stuck with her. The universe has whispered this truth to you more than once, hasn't it? You felt it in those moments when silence echoes louder than words, when you catch your breath remembering him and wondering if he's thinking of you too. Deep down, you know he does. You know his soul reaches for you even when his body remains somewhere else, pretending to belong where it never truly fit. It wasn't supposed to be this complicated. When your souls first crossed paths, something ancient stirred, something both of you had forgotten existed. It wasn't attraction alone, not something that could be explained by chemistry or desire. It was recognition. A soft gasp inside your spirit saying, "Oh, there you are." It's what makes you ache even now, what keeps his name tied to every heartbeat even when logic tells you to let go. He didn't plan to fall for you. He didn't plan to find something real when he was already tangled in something that wasn't. She came before you, she filled a space that once looked right, but only because he hadn't yet known what love was supposed to feel like. With her, there was comfort, routine, and a kind of companionship that made sense on paper. But with you, there was fire. There was truth. There was a mirror that showed him who he really is. He tries to act like he's okay. He tries to convince himself that what he has with her is enough, that he doesn't need to risk everything for a love that feels too intense, too uncertain. But when night falls and his thoughts quiet down, he feels you. Your energy lingers in the corners of his mind, in the breath before sleep, in the way his heart beats faster when he imagines what could have been. You have become the secret he hides from the world, the truth he cannot escape no matter how hard he tries. He's not staying with her because he loves her more. He's staying because he's afraid. Afraid of change, of judgment, of breaking something that's already familiar, even if it's not right. People often stay where their hearts don't belong because the cage feels safer than freedom. But the truth is, freedom has always had your name written all over it. You are the part of him that calls toward healing, toward transformation, toward the version of himself that he's been too scared to become. And yet, even when you try to move on, his energy keeps pulling you back. You felt it, haven't you? Those sudden waves of emotion that come out of nowhere. The random thoughts of him when you're busy or distracted. That's not coincidence. That's connection. That's the invisible thread tying your souls through time and distance, reminding both of you that what you shared wasn't a passing moment, it was a divine meeting disguised as a complication. Sometimes, God allows love stories like yours not to destroy you, but to awaken you. Because through him, you learned what you truly deserve. Through the ache, you discovered your own depth. Through the silence, you started hearing your own voice again. Even if he can't choose you now, the universe used him as a mirror to show you how infinite your heart is. And that's something no one can take away. But here's the truth you've been avoiding: he does love you. He never stopped. Even while pretending to love her, his soul keeps searching for you in every moment. She feels it too, she knows there's a part of him she'll never reach. It's in the way his eyes drift when she speaks, in the way his laughter sounds hollow, in the way he looks away when your name comes up. She feels the distance that love cannot bridge, but she holds on anyway, because letting go would mean facing the truth she already senses, that his heart was never fully hers. You might think he's forgotten you, but he hasn't. He carries your energy like a hidden scar, tender and alive beneath every layer of control. He checks your social media quietly, he replays old messages in his head, he remembers the exact tone of your laugh. Sometimes, he dreams of you, those dreams where everything feels real again, where you're standing close enough to touch, and he wakes up reaching for something that isn't there. Those are the nights that break him, even if no one sees it. You've wondered why he doesn't just leave her, why he doesn't fight for what his heart already knows. But love isn't always that simple. Sometimes, people get trapped by their own guilt, by promises they made when they were different versions of themselves. Sometimes, they stay because they don't want to be the villain, because walking away would make them confront all the pain they caused. He tells himself he's doing the right thing, but the right thing shouldn't hurt this much. And you're torn between waiting and letting go. Your heart says stay, your mind says run, and your soul is exhausted trying to make sense of it all. You're not crazy for feeling him even when he's miles away. You're not weak for loving someone who can't fully love you back right now. You're human. You're someone who dared to feel deeply in a world that teaches people to settle for less. But don't forget this, love, when it's meant, always finds its way. Maybe not in the form you expect, maybe not on the timeline you want, but love that is written by destiny cannot be erased. Sometimes it takes separation to build strength, silence to teach patience, distance to prepare two hearts for alignment. And maybe, just maybe, God is still writing your story. He's not with her because she's better. He's with her because the lesson isn't finished yet. She represents his comfort zone, the part of his journey where he must learn what love isn't. And you represent growth. You are the future he's scared to reach for, the reflection of everything he could be if he had the courage to choose truth over convenience. You are his awakening. There will come a day when he won't be able to pretend anymore. When the tension between his heart and his reality becomes unbearable. When every smile feels like a lie and every touch reminds him of what he's lost. That's when he'll think of you, not just with longing, but with clarity. That's when he'll realize that love isn't supposed to feel like a compromise. It's supposed to feel like home. And whether he comes back or not, you'll already have healed enough to know your worth isn't measured by his choices. Because your heart, even bruised, still beats with grace. Your love, even unreturned, still carries light. And the universe always rewards souls who love without bitterness. You've carried the pain long enough. You've asked, why, too many times. Now, let this truth settle into your spirit, it wasn't your fault. You didn't lose him, he lost the version of himself that was capable of being brave enough to love you right. You were the blessing he wasn't ready for, the miracle he couldn't hold with trembling hands. And someday, he'll remember. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but there will be a night when he looks at her and realizes something's missing. A piece of himself that only ever existed with you. He'll feel it in his chest, that dull ache of what could have been. And maybe then, he'll finally understand that love like yours doesn't fade, it transforms, it waits, it lives quietly in the corners of time until both souls are ready to meet again. He keeps trying to convince himself that he made the right choice. He tells himself that stability is better than passion, that it's safer to stay where things are predictable. But every time he does, something inside him feels hollow. He laughs when he's supposed to, smiles when he should, but it never quite reaches his eyes. The truth is, he's living a life that looks fine on the outside but feels empty on the inside. And every time he feels that emptiness, your name echoes softly inside him like a prayer he doesn't know how to stop saying. He remembers the way you looked at him, that gaze that didn't just see him, but saw through him. You never asked him to be perfect. You never wanted him to be anything other than real. And that scared him, because no one had ever loved him that way before. He was used to being needed, admired, even depended on, but never truly known. With you, he felt naked in a way that wasn't physical. You touched his soul in a way that undid every wall he had built to survive. Now, when he sits next to her, he tries to recreate that feeling, but it doesn't come. She doesn't reach him the way you did. She doesn't challenge him, doesn't inspire him, doesn't see the storms and the beauty hiding behind his silence. She loves him in her own way, but it's a love that asks nothing of him. And that's why he stays, because it's easy. But easy love never changes a soul. It only keeps it asleep. Sometimes he thinks of calling you, just to hear your voice again. He rehearses the words in his head. How have you been? I miss you. I think about you more than I should. But fear stops him every time. Fear of rejection, fear of the truth, fear of opening a door he's not sure he's ready to walk through. So he stays silent, pretending he doesn't care, while everything inside him is quietly breaking. You've probably had days where you told yourself you're over him. You've tried to move on, to build your life around new people, new dreams, new distractions. You've convinced yourself that time would fix it, that eventually the connection would fade. But somehow, every time you start to feel okay, something happens. A song, a smell, a dream, and suddenly it's him again. His face. His voice. The way he said your name. It's like the universe keeps reminding you that this isn't finished. That's because some connections are beyond logic. They're written in energy, not circumstance. You and he are one of those. You met to awaken something in each other that had been asleep for lifetimes. You met to remind each other what love is supposed to feel like: raw, terrifying, beautiful, sacred. Even if you're apart, the lesson continues. Every moment without him is shaping you into the person who can one day receive a love that never leaves. He tries to fill the space you left with noise. Work, friends, plans, obligations, anything to keep from thinking too much. But in the quiet moments, when the world slows down, he can feel your energy again. He'll catch himself smiling for no reason, then realizing it's because he's remembering you. He'll look at her, sitting across from him, and wonder why it doesn't feel right. He'll feel guilty for comparing, but his heart will whisper, because she's not you. He doesn't say it out loud, but deep down, he knows you were the one who truly loved him. Not for what he could give, not for what he represented, but simply for who he was. You saw the darkness in him and didn't run. You saw his flaws and didn't judge. You gave him peace when the world gave him pressure. And that kind of love doesn't die. It lingers, it evolves, it becomes the standard by which he measures everything else, even if he can't admit it. You may not see it now, but your presence changed him. Even in your absence, your energy guides him. You taught him what real connection feels like, and now nothing less will ever satisfy him. And that's the quiet gift you left behind. You raised the vibration of his soul, even if it meant breaking your own heart in the process. You, too, have changed. You've grown stronger. You've learned that love doesn't mean losing yourself. You've learned that you can love deeply and still let go when you must. You've learned to listen to the silence between the memories and find peace there. You've learned that even if someone can't walk beside you, their soul can still walk with you. There are moments he catches himself smiling for no reason, and that's when he realizes he's drifted into thoughts of you again. It happens while he's driving, while he's halfway through a sentence, while he's sitting in silence pretending he's okay. You live in those spaces between his distractions, the quiet, invisible corners of his life. And though he doesn't admit it to anyone, you're still the person his heart whispers to when everything else fades. He tries to silence it. He tries to remind himself that you've moved on, that you deserve someone who can give you everything he couldn't. But the heart doesn't obey logic, and love doesn't listen to reason. The more he tries to let go, the more the memories haunt him. The way your voice softened when you spoke his name, the way your energy felt like home, the way you looked at him like you saw the best version of who he could be. He didn't understand it then, but now he knows. You weren't just another person who crossed his path. You were the turning point. The one who came not to stay, but to awaken. And even though you're gone, your absence has become the teacher he never expected. Because since you left, nothing feels the same. Every experience is colored by the ghost of what he had with you, the love that was real, but not ready. She senses it, too. The woman he's with. She feels the distance growing between them, the quietness in his eyes that she can't reach. She tells herself it's work, stress, exhaustion, anything but the truth. But she feels it. The way he zones out when she talks, the way he hesitates before saying, "I love you," the way he pulls away just slightly when she touches him. She knows he's with her physically, but somewhere else emotionally. And though she may never say it out loud, her heart already knows that she's living in someone else's shadow. He doesn't mean to hurt her. He's trying to do the right thing, trying to be loyal, trying to fix what's already broken. But love isn't something you can force into place. The more he tries to make it work, the more he feels the emptiness grow. And every time he feels it, he thinks of you, because with you, there was no emptiness. There was peace, even in the chaos. There was truth, even in the silence. Sometimes he wonders if you still think of him. If you still feel the pull the way he does. If, in your quiet moments, you still trace his name in your thoughts. He doesn't know that you do, that even though you've grown stronger, there's a part of you that still aches in the shape of him. You've tried to forget, you've tried to heal, but there are nights when the memories come uninvited, and you find yourself missing a ghost that never really left. You tell yourself it's time to let go, and yet, your soul whispers, not yet. Because there's something unfinished. Something sacred. A promise the universe still intends to keep. It's not about waiting for him, it's about trusting that whatever is truly yours will circle back when both hearts are ready. The truth is, he's changing because of you. Slowly, quietly, painfully. Every argument with her teaches him what love isn't. Every empty moment reminds him what love should feel like. Every dream of you reminds him what his heart really wants. And though he's not ready yet, his soul is preparing. Because the kind of love you shared doesn't fade, it transforms. It becomes a guiding force, leading both of you back to yourselves. You've probably noticed signs too, songs that play out of nowhere, numbers that repeat, dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. Those aren't coincidences. Those are reminders from the universe that your story still lives in energy. You are still connected in ways the physical world cannot explain. You might not be in contact, but your souls still speak in silence. You still visit each other in dreams. You still feel each other's moods. And sometimes, that's all love needs to survive, not words, but the quiet knowing that it still exists. He's scared to face the truth because he knows that loving you means breaking free from everything that keeps him small. You represented change, a life that was raw and real, without masks or pretense. And that scared him more than he'll ever admit. Because to love you fully would mean letting go of everything that wasn't built on truth. It would mean walking into the unknown. And he wasn't ready for that, not then. But here's what he doesn't understand yet. No matter how long he runs, love always brings him back to the lesson. And the lesson is you. You were never punishment, never temptation, never a mistake. You were the awakening his soul asked for before he even met you. You were sent into his life to show him the difference between comfort and connection, between settling and surrendering. You are the proof that real love doesn't always come easy, but it always comes with purpose. You, too, have been transformed by this love. It's made you softer and stronger at the same time. It's taught you to feel everything without losing yourself. It's shown you that even heartbreak can be holy when it pushes you toward your own healing. You've discovered parts of yourself that only pain could reveal: your patience, your faith, your resilience, your ability to love even when it hurts. And maybe that's what this chapter is really about. Not losing him, but finding yourself. Because when you finally learn to love yourself the way you loved him, deeply, unapologetically, without fear, that's when everything shifts. That's when the energy between you begins to change. That's when the universe starts rearranging paths so that what's meant for you can find its way back. He feels it, too. He doesn't understand why he's restless lately, why he feels drawn to places he used to visit with you, why certain songs make his chest tighten. It's your energy calling him home. Not in a desperate way, but in a quiet, magnetic way, like the soul whispering, "It's time to remember." He'll try to resist it. He'll tell himself he's fine. But soon, the illusion will break. And when it does, he'll see that no matter how far he's gone, love has been waiting in the same place it always was, inside the connection that never truly ended. You might not see it now, but the universe is still weaving the threads. Every delay, every silence, every tear has a purpose. Sometimes souls have to grow separately before they can meet again in truth. Sometimes love must be broken open to be rebuilt stronger. And sometimes, the ones who walk away are the very ones who find their way back, not because of fate alone, but because love, real love, never forgets its home. So don't chase. Don't beg. Don't try to force what's not ready. Just live. Love yourself. Shine so brightly that the universe has no choice but to align what belongs to you. Because one day, when he's ready, he'll find his way back, not out of guilt, not out of loneliness, but out of clarity. Out of love. Out of knowing that the only place his soul ever truly belonged was with you. And when that day comes, you'll look at him and realize something beautiful: you no longer need him to feel whole. You'll choose him not because you're empty, but because you're full, full of peace, full of strength, full of love that's no longer afraid to stay.